we are called to be conscious that there is a place with respect to the question of traditions in our church. And yet, we have to be very careful that the traditions that we observe will not lead us to focus on the wrong aspects of our faith. I think the danger is that we can be so focused on these traditions and forget the greater calling, that is, that these traditions must lead us to our Lord Jesus Christ. And most of all, that we grow in faith and purify our hearts in love. It is important for us to reflect on the traditions that has been passed down to us and what these traditions mean for us. And I think it's very important to help us to understand in the context of how the people live their faith, how these traditions have been developed over time. And I think the real danger for us as Catholics is that very often we inherit these traditions but never really understand the context behind these traditions, the richness of these traditions. And we can just observe them blindly and carry them out in a routine manner without having a real impact on our own lives. That's the reason why when we go about visiting different churches and basilicas and so on, it's very important for us not just to go and admire the beauty of these icons and churches and so on. We should be invited to reflect on how these people have paid for their faith by their very lives, by the sacrifices that they have made. Unfortunately, today these have just become traditions that have not changed the lives of people. And I think it's dangerous. You know that in many places all over Europe, many churches are closed down, and many of the churches, they're selling their things away because the people have been practicing the traditions, but they have not really entered into the heart of the traditions. And so their lives have not changed. Traditions, they themselves cannot be dispensed with. Jesus is not against the practice of traditions, but the wrong focus of tradition. And so all these traditions, they help us to keep our faith. It's just like in every area of life, every community, we need to have traditions. Traditions are very important. They help us to keep our values, they help us to express our faith, they help us to deepen our faith, to celebrate our faith together. So traditions are very important. We cannot dispense with tradition. Not just the church, every culture also will need tradition. And so it is important to spend some time, especially visit churches and so on, to ask the Lord to help you to appreciate the heritage of the church, so that inspired by their faith, we will be able truly to live the kind of life that Jesus asks of us. Have we seen the author behind all these structures? Have we seen the faith of all these people who have expressed all these through the traditions?